Yo, what's up? It's your favorite Samoan Barkeep here. So for today's video, we are going to look at my favorite bottles that I've picked up since I started this. Let's go. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, keep showing your support for the channel. Hit me in the comments, what have been your favorite bottles that you've picked up this year? So I'm gonna highlight my favorite bottles that I've actually picked up. So I'm talking full bottles here, not just, as you can see, I got a bunch of samples. So I'm not talking about bottles I've had pours of or bottles that I've had a sample of. I'm talking about bottles that I've been able to find on one of my many bourbon hunts. So let's just jump right in. As far as everyday sippers, this is probably one of my favorites. That's the E.H. Taylor small batch. So this one, I just get caramel, sweetness, vanilla. It's just so tasty. Made a pretty good dent in that bottle about halfway through. This was one of the first bottles I kind of tatered on. I got this on my very first bourbon hunt back in when I went to Eastern Washington out to Yakima. So I love this. Not anything super complex, but just bottled in bond, so it's 100 proof, lots of sweetness, and just great as a kind of everyday sipper, assuming you can find it. All right, so next up, this is one I actually got just recently here, and that is going to be Woodford Reserve Batch Proof. So the Batch Proof, this one's coming in at 124.7 proof, and this is such a delicious bottle. So this is one of the many bottles that my buddy Bourbon Baller Lee from QFC Pine Lake got into his store and hooked it up, and just a great pour. Yeah, so we did a blind of this versus the last year's batch, or whichever batch was like 118 proof, and I thought this was much, much better. So if you can find this, grab a bottle of that. It is tasty. All right, moving on. And just, I didn't mention this earlier, but these aren't in any particular order. So these are just all the bottles that I really love since I got into bourbon this year. All right, so next up, we got the Hardin's Creek Claremont. So 17-year Beam product. The next release of this is the Hardin's Creek Frankfurt, which is already dropped in some areas. Not where I'm at, because we are where whiskey goes to die. So after it hits every other place in the entire country, then it makes it to Seattle 3 months later. Again, another one that I got from Bourbon Baller Lee, and just very tasty pour. Really get a lot of that good oak flavor since being a 17-year product, and definitely looking forward to hopefully picking up a Frankfurt if I ever see it in my area. All right, next up, and what a surprise, another one that Bourbon Baller Lee hooked me up with, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye. So I actually got this quite a while ago, and just such a good pour. 136 proof. So this was one of the first bottles with super high proof that I was getting into. And then I found that I do enjoy some of the higher proof stuff. Just flavor bomb here. Amazing bottle if you can get one of these. Heard mixed reviews. Some people got ones that didn't like, but I love the batch that I got. So next up is another single barrel that I got, and I got this one from McCallum & Sons. So that's our local boutique whiskey store. So probably the coolest as far as aesthetics, just very nice store. The owner there, Glenn, is cool. He knows a lot about whiskey, bourbon, everything. So as you can see, this is probably the closest one I've gotten to getting to a bottle kill out of all the bottles I've got so far. So that's the Old Forester single barrel strength. This one's coming in at 131 proof. It does drink a little hot, like even hotter than this one that's a higher proof, but it doesn't bother me. The taste is there. That Brown-Forman flavor profile, just tasty. So this was a great pick, and I wish I would have grabbed a couple of backup bottles because that is such a good bottle. All right, so this one is a little bit more recent of a pickup. So I actually got this from a buddy who lives out in Utah, and so that is the 2023 batch of the High West Burr Rye. This is one of the lower ones as far as the proof scale. So this is 92. So I usually like a little bit more proof, but this is freaking delicious. And plus, look at that bottle with the jackalope on it. Come on. Just checking up here to see what else we had. So, Blood Oath Pack 9. That's another one, kind of honorable mention. I love that bottle. But the reason I didn't put it in here was because I tried another sherry finished, just a Woodinville sherry cask finished, and I love that as well. So I was kind of thinking maybe the Blood Oath wasn't as amazing as I had previously thought. I love sherry finished bourbons and whiskeys. But still, Pack 9, very good. Glad I picked it up. The Michter's Toasted Sour Mash. It actually didn't finish very well in my toasted blind that I did, but I still think it's a good pour. Weller Antique 107. Very solid. Another one, honorable mention. Really enjoy that. But I just haven't gotten into it much because I'm afraid of not being able to find another bottle. So Weller Special Reserve for a $20, $25, $30 bottle is amazing. So I got that one. Buddy left it. He brought it over when we were doing some drinks and left it here. So that is an amazing bottle for the price point. And then this is another one. I just recently picked this up, and so I've barely just gotten into it. That's the Russell's 13 Batch 5. So I really like this, but because of my anti-wild turkey bias, I left it out. But very good, and I'll get into it a little bit more here as we move forward. So the last honorable mention I have is going to be the Stag Batch 22A. So the only reason I didn't include the Stag was because I've tried so many different batches of Stag and I don't remember which one I like the best. So I got to get back into the Stags, do a blind, figure out which ones I like the best. Right now we have 22A, 22B, and then 23A just recently dropped in the area. Haven't found a bottle of that yet, so but definitely want to get back into those and see which one kind of hits me the best. All right, and the last one that is not an honorable mention, this is one of my favorite bottles that I've picked up this year, is the Jack Daniel's 12 year. Definitely one of my favorites. As you can see, I'm getting close to getting that one done as well. So if you got an extra Jack 12 and you're not gonna rake me over the coals, hit me up, because I definitely want to get a backup for that, because that's one of my favorite bottles that I've had since I got into this. My bourbon kind of adventure, which started out with just hunting bourbons. That's the fun part for me, is going out to all the different liquor stores looking for bottles, and then just that rush, that euphoria when you find something. Like when I found this Jack 12, they just rolled it out and I'm standing there like, I'll take one, and boom, get it. So hit me in the comments, let me know what you think of these bottles. So I tried to do a kind of variety of different bottles that I've really enjoyed in my first year here in bourbon. So let me know what you think about these bottles. And then of the other stuff I have on the shelf, let me know what things that you really liked. There you go. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good one.